Hello Crafted Shutter Watchers, welcome to a great video today. And yes, this is a true story because it's my story. I'm going to take you way back in the time machine when I was submitting photos with my little point and shoot camera. Maybe some of you remember a site called Lucky Oliver. It was a photo site. Yeah, they up and disappeared. And you know, there was many other sites that I enjoyed working with that a lot of them up and disappeared. Dreamstime's been around for a long time, in case anybody wants to know. This is before Shutterstock, and iStock actually came on the scene as more of a free site, and then they started to build in and build up their revenue. And I remember I was sitting in my truck. My mother-in-law was in the back seat. My wife, my father-in-law, I think, was in the front seat with me. And my mother-in-law asked my wife, she said, "So your husband selling pictures online, how much does he get, you know, per picture?" And my wife said, "Oh, he gets about 25 cents. And I am telling you, that truck erupted in laughter. I mean, they laughed at me no end. But there's something about my personality that I appreciate, is that when someone laughs at me, it's just fuel for my fire. And I remember at that exact moment in time, by the way, I don't blame them for laughing, right? I mean, how are you going to make any serious money selling anything for 25 cents, right? And first off, you can, but the scope has to be big enough in scale. And a lot of people who aren't online don't understand the scale. So I wasn't mad at them laughing at me. It was entertaining, to say the least. But in my mind, I said, I'm going to be the one who laughs last. And so I just kept producing stock photos and putting them out and testing the sites. And back then, iStock, you know, they were getting over time more picky, and I just didn't have the quality. So I was just struggling and learning and struggling and learning, and I was getting there. But then along came a video for iStock, and I just jumped in both feet. That's when I went out and bought my first HD camcorder. It was a Canon HV10. It was tape based, and I was working on a Mac Pro G4, and it could barely ingest HD footage, and I was editing off of iMovie, okay? But I just kept at it. I mean, I just kept shooting, I just kept trying, I just kept at it. And so my portfolio obviously started to grow. And back in the glory days, I mean, you could shoot, you know, a banana peel and it would sell. So, you know, that was encouraging. So it just kept me going and going. And, you know, that's why I am here today still doing what I love. But I'm going to talk to you about how things have changed, but how the mentality of pressing forward has not changed. In other words, to succeed takes a certain mental acuity and a determinedness to succeed at anything in life. Before I jump into that, I have just put up my first video on how to shoot stock video. It is a beginner to advanced beginner course on stock video. If you're interested in learning how to shoot stock video guerrilla style, I walk you through the process. I'll show you a little clip here. Keep talking and pointing, guys. You're doing fantastic. Okay. This is a nice angle. I like this angle, so I'm going to hold this shot right here I'm at 9 seconds now. And you always hold a little bit longer than you think you need to. So if you're interested in buying a course like that, go ahead, click on the Crafted store link below and check it out. Anyway, back to what the future looks like. Now, the mentality still has to be the same. It means that when you get knocked down or when you get laughed at, it doesn't stop you from moving forward. Okay, so right now, the biggest thing that you're going to have, the biggest excuse that you're going to tell yourself and everyone else is the market is flooded, so there's no way I can compete. Did you lie? No, you didn't lie. The market is flooded. But to say there's no way you can't compete is a lie. There is a way you can compete, but it's going to take a little bit more effort and determination to get where you want to go. A lot of people, very, very few people still live on stock as their full-time income. I feel very fortunate to be able to do so. But don't forget that your stock portfolio is just that. It is a portfolio. So if you're a filmmaker, if you're doing corporate videos, you can always drive people through an email link or whatever you want to see samples of some of the work you've produced. And by doing this, I've been able to get other jobs that I wanted to use for stock. There's a lot of times you're out shooting that it is viable stock footage, but you just don't put it up on the sites. And that's where Blackbox can come in, where you have somebody else edit for you or keyword it all for you, and you're able to make a little bit of side income. You don't need this to be your full-time income, then don't make it your full-time income. Don't stress over that. But all of us can succeed at something, whether it be stock, whether it be photography, whether it be a wedding videographer, whatever creative field that you are in, there is always hindrances to your path. 25 cents was a hindrance to me in order to earn an income. But when video came along, the prices were higher, so I started focusing on that. And that is what actually brought me up to a salary level of my income. And when I was working in the medical field, when we had our first child, my wife, by choice, she's a dental hygienist by trade, by her choice, wanted to stay home with our first child. And it was stock income that allowed that to happen. Then when everything went south for me and I could see the writing on the wall because my company got sold out to a hospital and they didn't need my services there, they walked me to the back door. My income was enough to sustain us. So was I thankful that I pressed on in spite of what everybody said, in spite of all the laughs, and just kept going? Yes, I am. YouTube is the same way. In fact, everything in life is the same way. Very rarely, you'll see the person that puts one YouTube video out and makes it big. That's fantastic. I'm happy for those people. I mean, if only all of us could be so lucky, right? I mean, that's phenomenal. It's great. It can happen. There's a handful of my clips that have outsold any other clip, and I've put more effort into some of the other clips I've shot. That's how life works. But in general, on the whole, meaning the bulk of us, it is the tenacity to keep pushing forward and keep producing and keep working and keep learning that will actually give you a level of success in life. It doesn't matter what you choose to do. Those rules don't change. So my call out to you is I took a beating and a laughing. And by the way, even then I started making income. My wife could stay home. The laughing died down. But when I went out of my healthcare position into doing this full time, I took a lot of heat, friends, a lot of heat. People are saying, are you nuts? You have a medical degree from Kettering. You've worked in radiology in the hospital for 15 years. I've worked in cancer care for 10 years. And you're leaving healthcare and it's a guaranteed income? I did. And the main reason I left is I wanted to spend more time with my family and have more control over my time. I don't work less hours. I work just as hard. Sometimes there's even more stress. But I have been able to spend more time with my family, and when I close my eyes to die, I will be thrilled that if this all ended today, I had the best ride of my life for the past 10 years. It's been fantastic. And it just takes tenacity to keep moving forward and keep learning, keep trying new things. Some things work, some things don't work, and you just keep moving forward. So that's my thing for you today. Can you be a stock video producer? Absolutely. Can you be a rocket scientist? Absolutely. Can you go to the moon? Absolutely. I don't want to teach my kids any other way of thought. You can do whatever you put your mind to, and you work hard, it will pay back. Some things take more effort, but it is worth it in the long run. I hope you enjoyed this video. Listen, ring that bell, subscribe to the channel, get involved, let's check out my community tab. I treat it as mainly as my Instagram feed because I don't have time to bounce around between platforms, so that's my community tab there. So you can see a lot of my photos and polls and some other video links in there. That's what the community tab is for. Check out the Crafted store. I have links to all the gear that I use below as well if anyone's interested in that. And I will be updating that in the near future as well. And hey, I really appreciate the support of the community, and we will see you in the next video.